Hey everyone, Miss Fisher here, and today we're back with the Littles. We're going to be reading chapters 3 and 4. Let's get started. Chapter 3. There was a secret lookout place behind the light switch in the hall of the Biggs house. One of the screws was missing. The empty hole was large enough for Little to look and listen through. Mr. Little spent all the next day at the lookout place. Tom Little stayed with him. They were waiting for the Newcombs. "When they come, be careful of that light switch, Tom," said Mr. Little. "Likely as not, the first thing they'll do is turn on the hall light." Sometime in the late afternoon, Mr. Little thought he heard a noise. He looked through the hole. "Are they coming?" said Tom. "Not yet. Hold it." Mr. Little heard a key in the front door lock. "Yes, here they come. Now, shh." "Where's the hall light, Charlie?" It was a woman's voice. "I have it," said Charles Newcomb. There were sparks inside the lookout place as the light was turned on. Tom Little jumped. His father turned from the peephole and put his finger to his lips. "Shh!" The bright light from the hall came through the peephole into their dark hiding place. Tom could see his father's face clearly. Mr. Little returned to the hole. "What a drive," said Mrs. Newcomb. She sat down heavily on the suitcase. "Give me a minute to rest, and I'll help you with the rest of the bags." "No need to help, Mrs. N," said Mr. Newcomb. "I'll get the bags myself. No tipping, please. It's part of the service here at the big summer hotel." Mrs. Newcomb laughed. "Where do you get the energy?" she said. "From the country," said Mr. Newcomb. "I didn't realize how much I'd miss it. I get energy from just looking at all the trees in space. We're going to be here for 3 months. Think of it." "I am," said Mrs. Newcomb. "I'll still have to get 3 meals a day, only now it'll be in a strange kitchen." "Listen, Liz," said Mr. Newcomb. "You've come here to write, and I've come here to paint. Nothing else is important." Sure," Mrs. Newcomb laughed. "Tell me that after eating hamburger for a week." "I mean it, Liz," said Mr. Newcomb. "Forget about housework. Write those stories you want to write. As for me," he twirled around and did a little dance, "this isn't my house. I'm fixing nothing. I'm doing nothing. If the faucets drip, let 'em drip. I may not even take out the garbage." "You really mean it, don't you?" said Mrs. Newcomb. "Sure I do," said Mr. Newcomb. "I'm here to paint masterpieces, and that's what I'm going to do. And when I'm not doing that, I'm going to do nothing. I'll loaf, sit in the sun, and eat." He laughed. "Hamburgers, of course." Chapter 4. A week had passed. Uncle Pete thought it was a bad beginning. It looks as though the Newcombs really mean what he said. The place is a mess since they came. He pushed his plate away and threw down his napkin. "And I am getting tired of hamburger." "No matter," said Mr. Little. "It'll be over one day, and the Biggs will return. No harm done." "Something bad will come of it, you'll see," said Uncle Pete. "Well, at least I don't have a cat," said Lucy Little. "That's right," said Mrs. Little. She smiled at her family. "Lucy is looking on the bright side. Things could be worse." "Bah," said Uncle Pete. "Right now, I'd rather have trouble with a cat than eat this cooking." "I suppose I should learn to cook," said Mrs. Little. She looked around the table. "Mrs. Big was such a good cook, it didn't seem necessary for me to cook. I guess she spoiled us." All the Littles nodded. Suddenly, Granny Little spoke. "Watch out for mice." "Why do you say that, Granny?" said Mr. Little. "There are no mice in this house. George Big wouldn't stand for it." Granny Little looked sharply at Mr. Little. "There will be mice," she said. Then she straightened the shawl on her shoulders. "Don't worry, Granny," said Mr. Little. "You're thinking of the old days. This is nothing like the old days." All right, everyone, that was chapter 3 and 4 of The Littles. We'll read more next time. All right, everyone, I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.